In news this week, millions march for action on climate change. Christian aid agencies respond to toxic mudslide. And a Catholic leader calls for unity with Protestants.
This is InFocus Christian news and current affairs.
Last weekend saw hundreds of thousands of people around the world marching and calling for action on climate change. Church groups were among them. Ahead of the International Climate Change Summit in Paris, a collection of petitions from faith-based coalitions urged political leaders to take decisive action to curb global warming. The total number of signatures on the petitions approaches 1.8 million. According to the World Council of Churches, the signatures were presented to United Nations leaders in Paris. Some of those at the event had arrived on foot after completing pilgrimages from countries as far away as the Philippines to express their concern about climate change. Australia's welfare sector says its ability to help struggling families this Christmas has been limited further by federal government funding cuts. According to ABC News, charity organisations, many of which are run by churches, have been hit by a $270 million reduction in funding.
So as we go into this Christmas period, it will be a really heightened test for us about whether the level of service across the country is adequate.
Even before the cuts, 80% of community organisations said they were unable to meet the demand for their services. A government spokesman said Australia's charity and community organisations are valued, but that the nation is facing a tight fiscal environment. Christian organisations are among the critics of a new Victorian law that effectively bans abortion-related protest or awareness-raising activities in a 150-metre exclusion zone around abortion clinics. Critics are concerned that Victoria's 10,000 GP medical centres are also covered under the legislation, which could render some conversations about abortion illegal even in nearby properties such as church premises or university campuses. The Australian Christian Lobby is one organisation warning that the legislation is an unreasonable breach of free speech and may fail if it is challenged by the High Court. And later in the programme, we'll hear more on this latest development from the ACL's Lyle Shelton. Christian agencies have responded after a toxic mudslide in Brazil left 10 people dead, others missing or injured, and more than 250,000 without drinkable water. The mudslide occurred as two dams burst, which had been holding waste from a joint Australian-Brazilian iron ore mine. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency swung into action after the accident, distributing hygiene kits to 600 families displaced by the mudslide. As it became clear that the waste products containing toxins such as arsenic and mercury were polluting the river and water supplies, ADRA supplied clean drinking water to nearly 2,500 families. According to the ABC, the mining company has already been hit with more than $300 million in damages and fines. The total cost of the cleanup could exceed $1.4 billion. As awareness of the damaging effects of refined and added sugar grows, consumers may be tempted to choose sugar-free soft drinks or lollies as a healthy alternative. But are they healthy for our teeth? Melbourne's Oral Health Cooperative Research Centre says the answer is often no. Their research has found that while tooth decay is reduced by staying away from sugary food and drinks, there are still high acid levels in sugar-free products. Citric acid and phosphoric acid are common flavour enhancers that eat away at the teeth enamel and can prevent calcium from rebuilding the tooth structure. Adventist health experts say the study is further evidence for a diet based on whole foods.
God created foods in a specific way, knowing that it would be good for us. Anytime we mess with God's packaging of the food, we're deteriorating the quality of that food. The simple message is that your whole food, plant-based diet is the best diet.
Faith leaders meeting on the sidelines of G20 meetings in Turkey have been reminded that religious freedom undergirds national and economic success. Dr. Ganoun Diop, who heads up the Seventh-day Adventist Church's Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Department, told the gathering that the success of poverty reduction strategies, such as the new Sustainable Development Goals, depends on moral foundations. According to Adventist Review, Diop urged faith leaders to work together and bring their best values to bear in addressing the world's problems. A senior Catholic leader has preached at Westminster Abbey calling for unity between Christians and a renewed emphasis on the Protestant doctrine of justification by faith. According to Christian Today, Father Raniero Cantamalessa, who is chaplain to the household of Pope Francis, spoke in the presence of Queen Elizabeth, the Supreme Governor of the Church of England, which he said is well placed to bridge the gap between Catholics and Protestants. Referring to the upcoming 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, Cantamalessa said it's vital not to remain prisoners of the past, arguing about who was right or wrong. Rather, he said, Christians should together be emphasizing the need to be justified by faith in Jesus, not by self-focused and self-reliant religion. 600 million people around the world play computer games. For Christian evangelists, it's a largely unexplored mission frontier. US-based gaming company Lightside has had some success with a mobile puzzle game, Stained Glass, which they say 7 million people have downloaded so far.
When I told my family, my wife was supportive. But my boys all thought it was one of Dad's crazy ideas. They refused to help.
According to CBN News, the game has led 16,000 people to connect with the Billy Graham Evangelical Association and make a decision for Christ.
So much of today's entertainment is filled with darkness. Look, there are games out there where you sell drugs, where you kill innocent people, where you sleep your way through Hollywood. We believe that there's tremendous need for games where faith and fun go hand in hand.
A church in New York has received an unexpected and early Christmas surprise: a baby in a manger. According to Religion News Service, the church's security camera captured a woman entering the church with a baby and leaving empty-handed. The newborn baby boy was left in the church's nativity display manger, with his umbilical cord still attached. He was found soon afterwards and is safe and well. The mother has since been identified but will not be charged. She's protected under laws that allow babies to be dropped off anonymously at safe haven locations. And that's the news for this week. For more analysis of current events, as well as lifestyle tips and inspirational interviews, check out the full half-hour Record in Focus program at record.net.au. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on InFocus Christian News. God bless.